Joe Biden gave a speech the other day that was one of the most horrific in modern American history. It was full of diatribe, demagoguery, and propaganda of the worst sort, accusing people of being George Wallace and Bull Connor, accusing people of trying to destroy democracy, of trying to prevent certain people from voting in this country. He pretended it was 1965, year all over again. It was absolutely outrageous. The Democrat Party and the media are working very closely together. On Martin Luther King's birthday, they intend to push their so-called voting rights or voting reform act, which really, in my view, has nothing to do with expanding voting for people who have a right to vote and has everything to do with ensuring that the Democrat Party is the party in power for the rest of time. They've done this in California, they've done this in other states, and that's what they want to do to the United States of America. And I wanted to bring one of the great experts on to discuss this, Hans von Spakovsky of the Heritage Foundation, former litigator in the voting section of the Civil Rights Division of the Department of Justice. Hans, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing fine, as long as these bad bills don't get passed in the Senate.
Give us an idea, give the public an idea of the sort of things that are in these bills, because if you watch network news, or for that much, mostly cable news, they keep talking about Voting Rights Act and people who oppose it and people who support it. But they never really put a list up, a graph up of what are in these laws that the Democrats are pushing. What are in these laws?
Well, that's because if they actually start listing it, the American public goes, boy, that's a really bad idea. Look, these laws do everything from gut voter ID laws in all the states to putting severe restrictions on states being able to verify the eligibility and qualifications of voters and to clean up and maintain the accuracy of their voter list. I mean, some of the restrictions are just absurd. I mean, for example, if you register to vote and then you don't vote for the next 50 years, they still can't take you off the list. I mean, that's specifically in the provision. There's all kinds of other parts to the bill that, for example, one of them, S1, would mandate that states allow vote trafficking. In other words, states would have to allow paid political operatives and candidates and campaign staffers to be able to go to voters' homes to pick up and handle their absentee ballots, which of course puts them in a good position to alter or change those ballots, maybe not deliver them, and to coerce and pressure those voters. There are so many provisions in here, it's hard to list them all because the bills are so big. Another one, the John Lewis bill, Mark, would basically give the unelected, unaccountable career bureaucrats at the Justice Department the ability to veto almost all election changes, new redistricting maps of state legislatures, even changes made by referenda by voters. That is an unbelievable intrusion into state sovereignty, and frankly, it's a way of overriding the will of the state legislators and the voters in every single state.